Community connections, CKMS, local sounds, thoughts, passions, and success. Celebrate local, your neighbor's got a story to tell. Community connections, CKMS.
Happy Monday, Waterloo Region. It is Monday, the 28th of August, not quite the 31st yet. Nice day outside, nice day inside because you've got Eye the Mountain in the studio to do a live on-air in-studio performance.
Oh, the blue skies over coal mines keep me digging down. Oh, the blue skies cover my mind, put me in the ground. Oh, oh, put me in the ground. And I found love once back in the city. There she lied next to me till she went away. Oh, how I'd shiver. No one in the house. Oh, no one in the house. And I found love once back in the city. There she lied next to me till she went away. And I found God just waiting by the window, waiting on his light to come take me away. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Well, I found love once back in the city. There she lied next to me till she went away. And I found God waiting by the window, waiting on his light to come take me away.
Eye the Mountain in the studio, CKMS Community Connections. Welcome to the studio. This is wonderful. Sounds great in here, let me tell you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, you're
Happy to be here.
Very welcome. So, can you introduce yourselves? Let's find out who we all are. I'm Bob.
Sure. I'm Allison Dijak. I play keyboard and do some vocals in the band as well.
I'm Matt Rappold, and I play percussion, mostly cajon, and also do singing as well.
My name is Matt Lamers, and I am the lead vocalist of Eye the Mountain and play acoustic guitar.
My name is Rory McLaughlin. I play the electric guitar, and believe it or not, I do some singing too.
Wow.
the singing is wonderful. It's such close harmony. It's stuff you don't hear much today anymore.
Thanks. Yeah, we really pride ourselves on that and bringing the harmonies to the table.
Yeah, it's something that we grew up, or we when we first started the band, we did a lot of harmony singing on the street, like the two of us, and then it's just something we've always wanted to keep in the band. It makes us sound a little unique. You're right, we don't hear it as much anymore from a lot of sort of pop music and things like that. So it's fun for us. It's fun for us to be able to do it, and nice to have sort of that like as our calling card.
The
for the
audience
band.
appreciates it, let me tell you.
Thank you.
Is it something that you had to develop after you got together, or is it something that brought you together in the first place, knowing that you could do the harmonies?
I mean, it's something that I think over time, Rapult and I began exploring it a little bit, but it really wasn't until I think Allison joined the band that our harmonies expanded and became even tighter than they once were.
Yeah, I sang in a lot of like choirs growing up. My family was very musical, so we'd sing at home a ton. So singing in harmony comes pretty naturally to me. So yeah, when I joined the band, well, the two of them and our former bassist were always having band practices at home, and I would kind of be listening upstairs, and I would sneak downstairs and say, would you like me to help you figure out the harmony? Like the third harmony or something. It's like the two part always came very natural to both of you, but I think sometimes getting a third part or sometimes like a unique harmony or something, I would sort of sneak down and suggest a part, and then you just had to have me. I stayed in the band.
Couldn't stay away. Couldn't stay away.
Yeah, and Rory brings a lot as well. Just the four of us love singing, so we truly just all want to sing on every song.
How long have you all been together?
Matt Rapult and I started the band way back when at Trent University in 2012, I believe.
I think it was even 2011.
Might have been 2011 even.
That seems like a long time ago.
That's quite a while ago. And then the band kind of went through a few different members, a few different forms. It was always kind of a two-piece at the root, and then we became a three-piece, four-piece, back down and all around. But we then took a little break for several years. I went away to teach, and Matt did some teacher's college himself. And then we hooked up with Simon Ward of the Strumbellas, and he kind of reignited the flame. So I moved back I was in Halifax at the time, and 2017 we kind of started up as a five-piece then, and now we're in the four-piece format. Yeah.
Right. Excellent. And no chance of more personnel churn. This looks to be a very stable arrangement that you have now.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we all get on pretty well together, and our voices complement each other pretty well, and sort of the way that we write songs, it's pretty natural. We all sort of do our. It's pretty collaborative. Like we've been described as like a painfully democratic band, but that all comes naturally to us. Like we're friends first and foremost, and then that friendship sort of that we carry that dynamic into the band in terms of songwriting, in terms of collaboration too. So yeah, pretty rock steady.
So you've been together for a while. You know what you all sound like.
Yeah.
And so you must be writing towards your vocal capabilities.
I mean, yeah, to some degree, definitely. And just, always finding ways to include each other, I think, in not only the process, but in the final product as well, having all of our voices in there.
Yeah, and we also sort of write with our audience in mind a little bit. We are a very interactive band. When we play shows, we're getting the crowd singing all the time and engaging with us. So when we write songs, actually, we kind of say, okay, and then the audience will sing along here, and then they'll clap here, or they'll repeat this part to us. So we kind of write with our live performance in mind as well, which I think is maybe unique to other bands.
Yeah. You've got a good studio catalog now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're getting there.
What's also like, sometimes I forget about how big our catalog is, because we recorded our first EP back in 2012, and then we recorded our second one in 2013.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was a long time ago. So I sometimes forget about all those, like that back catalog, Land and Sea, and then Two Birds. I mean, it's great stuff, but it's just, we have so much stuff going on now with the current iteration of the band. We don't play a lot of those songs as much anymore. The original Land, we still do a couple. We do Land, we do Owls. Do we
Meet
play
Me by the
anything off?
Towers?
Yeah, Me by the Towers. Do we play anything off of Two Birds?
No.
Not recently,
Not
no.
recently, no.
Bare Hands used to be in the rotation, but it hasn't been for probably 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But it's fun for when we're going out on tour and deciding on, what our set list will be for a while. It's really fun to have so many songs to pick from. It's really nice to kind of reinvigorate some older tunes, or also take something that we recorded in a certain way, but then kind of make a live version of it. So it's just at the point where we have so many songs to choose from for our live performance. That's actually really fun, being able to choose what the set list is going to be for that, couple of months. So it's
Yeah,
nice.
we can tailor it a lot more than we once did. And I mean, we're working with a huge back catalog of new songs as well, that
Sorry,
we're really hungry to get out.
How does
Yeah.
that work? A back catalog of new songs?
Well, it's like, I mean, we have so many songs that we're even going to do like a third album back in, before we split for the teaching time, the hiatus. We were going to do a third album. We had all the songs sort of workshopped and kind of ready to go. And then I don't even know what happened. We just sort of hit the end of university, and then as is sometimes the case, people just go their separate ways after that, didn't get it recorded. So we have that.
Okay.
Is back catalog the appropriate word for it?
I'm not
don't
sure.
know.
It's going to be new catalog,
It's
new
new-
catalog when it
yeah.
comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big catalog of songs that have yet to be recorded, but we're eager to play and perform as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
So we
And
have
eager to record.
eager to record as well. It's Matt Lamers and Matt Rappelt are primary songwriters, and between the two of them, we just have so many songs that we're looking forward to workshopping and recording, and we've started to perform some of the new tunes live as well. We just got back from a stint out east, and we debuted a song on that tour, and it was really cool to kind of see the audience reactions, saying this is the first time we're playing this song. So we're looking forward to playing that one at some local shows too.
How do you deal with the old music that wasn't written for the foursome that you are now? Things must have changed since then.
Yeah, I mean, also I think stylistically it's changed a decent amount, just because of where our heads were at in university. I mean, a lot of the earlier stuff that I wrote was quite broody and maybe a little emo in some regards lyrically. But it is super fun to bring some of those songs back into the mix and then add those harmonies that maybe weren't there, or some guitar parts that Rory comes up with. He's truly a master of his craft. So, oh, no worries. Yeah, so it's great to get those songs back in the mix.
I think like the strange thing though with our band is there's always been a gulf in between our recorded content and our live content, because we started off being a two-piece on the street, and then we were a three-piece, and it was acoustic guitar, cajon, and upright bass for a long time. But then when we were in the studio, we wanted to have the full band sound, so we did a lot of electric guitars, we did keyboards, we did full drum set. And so
Was that with additional personnel, or was that just you
no,
doubling
we just
up?
did it all to start. So when we did Land and Sea, it was just the three of us doing all the instruments. Although we did have a producer there, like teaching us how to do some of the parts, which is good. But
Yeah,
we
the piano
performed all the
parts, for sure.
parts. But it's always been a difference in between what you hear on the recordings versus what you hear live, which is I think really interesting, because we've never really made an attempt to try to. It's always been kind of like backwards. Like we've written the songs for acoustic and then recorded them full band, as opposed to writing them full band and then doing like stripped down acoustic. So it's like it's always been that interesting dichotomy between like, do we want to make them more like our recordings, or do we make our recordings more like our live sound? Like those are two very distinct things, and I feel like that's not the case with a lot of bands. So we kind of operate in this like gray zone in between, like how much do we take it like full band versus how much do we keep our recordings like sounding like our, how we sound live.
Right. How do the fans take that? The fans come to listen to you and then buy the CDs and get something completely different when they get home.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's much more in our own heads than
I think
it is.
so, yeah.
than
No
it
one's
is-
ever mentioned it.
Yeah, no one's
Literally
ever mentioned that at all.
Yes. Yeah, no one has ever said, oh, you guys sound so different. If anything, they've said, oh, yeah, it sounds like like the recording.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting to me because we pad the recording so much with other instruments and other parts. But I guess at the core, excuse me, at the core, it's all like the essence of Eye of the Mountain is still there. So I don't think it's that drastic.
I have to say that when you started playing Coal Mine, and, little chills down my spine because it sounded exactly like what I'd been listening to on the radio.
Hey, love to hear that.
Yeah.
That one is pretty true to the live, I would say. It's funny, as a independent band, we haven't really worked with a lot of producers in the recording studio, and so we're making a lot of the decisions ourselves, and there's a lot of decisions that go into what the recording will sound like, and we've kind of gone through phases where we've really wanted the recording to be like the five instruments when we recorded our full debut album Little Wild as a 5-piece. That is basically just our 5 instruments and then a little bit of additional, there's like a banjo on 1 track, and there's some pads on 2 tracks, and there's like kind of a different guitar tone on one of the tracks. But that album, we stayed very true to our live sound. Because we felt that was important. But then the singles we've been releasing in the last 2 years or so, Wildflowers, Summer, Houseplant, we were a little more liberal with what the recordings where they could take us, where the additional instruments could take us. So, it's kind of up to us if we decide to go for it with a recording and kind of think, hey, let's add mandolin and synthesizer and banjo and trumpet and all these things, and then it's just sort of what phase we're in, I guess. So for a while we wanted to have just the core instruments, and now we've kind of been recently exploring more instruments, and then we'll see where we land. I'm sure there's a happy medium somewhere.
Are you a bit more stripped down in the studio here today than you would be for a live performance?
Slightly, not terribly. I mean, our drum setup is a little smaller, but otherwise it's pretty on par, I think.
Yeah, it's truly just, we have electric guitar, and then we have acoustic guitar, we have piano, and you have some like sort of synthy pad stuff you can do with that piano, but that's like very much the same thing as we do live. And then for those people listening right now, I'm sitting on a cajon, a box drum, and I have a couple of jingle sticks. And then really for our sort of festival performance, I add a few toms. Like just a floor tom and a rack tom to the cajon box, and then I also have a cymbal, and then I have a tambourine on my left foot. But
and
that's
a kick drum.
Oh, and a kick drum.
drum.
And
Yeah.
a little kick drum. But like, other than that, like truly.
And I
this
have
is
my
kinda what
kazoo.
we have. You have that today.
I probably won't perform with it today, but it does
work
it
it
does
in.
live here, and my shaker too.
Okay. Let's put these instruments to some good use and
Sounds
do
good.
something else for us.
All right. We are going to do our latest single, Jillian.
I don't mind that you call me all the time, honey, that's alright. It's just every time you don't. Oh, I don't get no sleep at night. And I don't care that I see that pretty face every place I stay. It's just every time I don't. Oh, I don't get no sleep at night. Sweet, sweet Jillian, you're killing everything just the way you glide across that floor. You blow me over, got me running for cover. Every time you knock, knock, knocking at my door. And bless these tired eyes, I'll never get no sleep at night. And I'm not sure how you make me feel so damn insecure. It's like I'm hiding from myself. You you pretend that you don't know.
You keep me up at night.
Sweet, sweet Jillian, you're killing everything just the way you glide across that floor. You blow me over, got me running for cover. Every time you knock, knock, knocking at my door. And bless these tired eyes, I'll never get no sleep at night. Sweet, sweet Jillian, you're killing
You blow me over, got me running for cover. Knock, knock, knock. Get no sleep at night. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-da.
I, the mountain in the studio, bringing Gaukel Street into the Beamer Box building. Yeah, Tell me about the video for Jillian.
Yeah, that took many forms, actually. It started off, we had ideas of grandeur, and it ended up being a lot more simple, but a lot more wholesome than I think we initially anticipated.
Yeah, I think Matt Rappel kind of had the main idea, and me a little bit as well.
Excuse me, I wanted to do the prom thing.
Oh yes,
Oh, wait, no,
the
you did.
prom, I forgot.
That was you. Yes, I wanted to do something along those lines,
But
but
overall, I mean, we had been talking about wanting to do a music video for this song. Music videos cost a lot of money, and we hadn't done one in a long time, but we felt that Jillian was just a really fun summer song, and it would be really impactful. And Matt Rappel sort of had this idea of like making our work mean something and kind of taking a stand, like using our platform for good and to send a message out there. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about why or how that came about.
Yeah,
but
for sure. I mean, I think that for all of us in the band, like it's really important that we're a band that prides itself on being connected to community. We love supporting the wonderful businesses and people here in the community. And for us, I think we've seen, not only here in the community, but sadly also here in the community, a troubling trend towards like a lot of really hurtful and hateful attitudes towards, especially trans people and the LGBTQ community.
and the drag community
And the drag
as well.
community, for sure. And so when we thought about Jillian, it's just such a joyful song, and we really wanted to use this song as an opportunity to sort of stand with those people who are facing those issues and say that we're here to support you, and we are, this song is about expressing who you are and being who you are and just being joyful in that, and we wanted to make sure that that was the central theme of the video that we put together.
Yeah, so we reached out to a lot of different folks from the local arts community, the local queer community, the local drag performer community, and asked them to be in the video. It was actually really funny sending messages to them. Like, a lot of them were friends of ours, or like loose connections, I would say. And so we had to send messages basically saying, we think you are a very cool person and are doing awesome things in our community. Would you like to come lip sync and dance in our video? So yeah, originally we had wanted to do like a fake prom. We wanted to have a house party. We wanted to do all these different big things. And just sort of as we started chatting about ideas and what would be practical with our schedule and our budget, to be honest, We landed on just shooting in front of the murals that were in downtown Kitchener. So we worked with Bo Urbina, who had...
Love you, Bo.
Yeah, he had done some work with us in the past for a Wildflowers video with Good Company Productions. But we just reached out to him to do it independently. And originally we had all these different murals all across downtown Kitchener picked out. And then it was forecasted to rain and thunderstorm that day. And we were going to meet up in Gawkel in the morning, 44 Gawkel, the arts hub. And we just looked around us and said, hey, we are surrounded by beautiful artwork. Let's just do it here. There's rain cover if we need it. There's so many options to choose from. We were so lucky that the city of Kitchener made the Gawkel block, the art block there. And so we just used it and we loved it. And it made for such a beautiful shoot, such a great backdrop, so much talent going on in this community. We were just like blown away by how many options we had and how many we were able to incorporate into our video.
It actually worked out like even better than what we were expecting. I don't know.
Way
Oh yeah,
Because I think that
100%.
when we started planning the video, those murals were not yet like wrapped
They weren't,
onto
no.
the CKN. So we hadn't really had a chance to see them when we were thinking about where to film in downtown Kitchener. But then when we got to Gawkel that morning, we're like, oh my gosh, the color palettes, you know, the locations, the art styles are just absolutely perfect for the video. And it just seamlessly fit in with the vision that we had for it. So, I mean...
Yeah, and just a quick shout out to all those folks that helped us with that, and a big thank
100%.
you to the lovely humans and the artists that perhaps didn't even know they were going to be involved in a music video. So thank you so much to all those folks.
I think they enjoyed it. I had CX Violet in the studio last week.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
What,
I saw that
what a
they
beautiful
posted.
soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they enjoyed it. They really appreciated the email. The email was well received, and then didn't understand how such a disjoint process of shooting the video, which seemed very random,
Yeah.
all came together into this beautiful end production.
Oh, it did. Yeah, really, we have to give a lot of credit to Bo that edited everything. We had sort of had a basic storyline of like, oh, it'll start with the lip syncing. We'll have this sort of drag dance off in the second verse. We'll have this big group scene at the end and some candid shots. But that was kind of all the direction we gave him. And then he sent us the first draft, the first edit, and we were like blown away. Our group chat was like, this is so cool.
so
This is
good.
so nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so wholesome. It's so nice. I'm smiling so much. And I just went and met with him for maybe 2 hours to do a final edit, and he really made it very, very special and magical. Like, he just captured so much joy. He picked all the right shots of people just being together, being happy, being who they are, dressing how they want to be, presenting themselves as they want to be, and just being joyful. So yeah, big credit to Bo for seeing that vision in the editing process. And yeah, just the people that were involved, they took a chance on us. Like, we just kind of said, you're going to come and lip sync and dance and be happy. And they just did it. They left it all out there.
Yeah.
And the feedback that we've gotten has been really positive as well. Some really wonderful comments on social media as we toured across the East Coast 2 weeks ago. I would say that was one of the biggest things that people would say to us. They said, oh, we saw the Jillian video, we really loved it, or I connected with that, or I can't wait for you to play Jillian live tonight because I love that video. So it's been really wonderful to see the positive impact it's had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like when it came time for us to do our music videos and for us for our songwriting and things as well, it's like I think we're increasingly sort of seeing that we can use our platform and use our songs to connect with people, or to spotlight people, or to just do something that's greater than the songs or the videos themselves. And I think we're trying to sort of use that. I think the Jillian video, the Wildflowers video was another example of that, like trying to use our music and use the artistic creativity that we have to accomplish something with it, or to showcase a particular idea. And with Wildflowers, it was the idea of connection during the pandemic and like writing love notes to people. And like we've been so fortunate to work with amazing people in the community who've helped us realize that vision, and then also helped us like pushed us to advance that and pushed us to think more creatively or a little bit more outside of the box on these type of projects and think about what we can do with the stuff we're putting out in public.
Is that going to be an ongoing push for you now?
Oh, definitely, yeah, I think so. And any chance we get to include our community and the greater community in those projects, we jump at that.
Yeah, it says in our on Instagram, it says like, I think in our bio, it's like creating community through sound or something like that. And I mean, it does really come back to this idea of community, whether it's our like mountaineer community that we have, like the loose assembly of people who call themselves fans
The
of ours.
Mountaineers, yes.
Or if it's like here in KW, I mean, to us it's about like being involved in community, connecting with other human beings and sharing the space, and then working together to make our communities, inclusive, accessible, loving, just vibrant spaces that people want to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm thinking next time also more dogs. I'm thinking we need a community of pups.
A dog video.
If only we had connections to a local community
Wow,
organization.
that would be crazy.
Dog friendly
Love you,
KW
dog
collab.
friendly.
Yeah, we just love all that like is happening in Kitchener and Waterloo. I mean, the band didn't start here, but Rory and I grew up in the area, and then when we kind of decided maybe 3 or 4 years ago that we would call ourselves a Kitchener band when the majority of our members lived here. We've really just been big proponents of like making sure that people know that Kitchener is a really big arts hub. Kitchener and Waterloo, one of our biggest pet peeves is when local artists put in their Instagram bio that they're like from Toronto or they're based in Toronto, and we're like, you're based in Kitchener, just say you're from Kitchener, and it's like there's so much happening in Kitchener. You would know, obviously, so many incredible local musicians, so much talent. So we are really proud to say that we're a Kitchener band, and there's lots of art happening here. Art should be made here. You don't need to go to Toronto to film a music video. You can do it in downtown Kitchener. You can do it at a local business. One of our last music videos was filmed at Apollo Cinema. There's just so many places to make art here, and Toronto doesn't have to be the only hub for that. Kitchener is doing amazing things here.
Kitchener is lively for all kinds of things.
It
Music.
is. It is. Yeah. So we feel really proud to be a Kitchener band.
Yeah, definitely. And though we didn't officially start here, we've always had ties to Kitchener. We recorded our first 2 EPs in Kitchener at the Sound Distillery. Rest in peace. But we've always loved Kitchener, and it's always kind of been in the bloodline of the band, even from the get-go.
Yeah, shouting out double pizza.
Double.
And also Princess Cafe.
And
You're wearing a
also
princess shirt right
I am
now.
wearing the Princess Cinema shirt. Yeah.
Bergen Bagel.
Yes,
City Cafe.
City Cafe.
We ate so much just plain bagel that studio run.
That was our Land and Sea session back in like 2012. And we would like, before going into the studio, I guess we slept in the studio, we'd go out to get breakfast, but our breakfast would be like a dozen bagels from City Cafe, and we just bring them back to the studio and just eat them, like not even cut them, just munch them like right by the round.
Oh, how we've grown as a band.
To some degree.
So your community building and social justice view of things, how does that lead to commercialization with mainstream radio play, commercial record sales? It seems that there's not a lot of that in the mainstream media. Finding that to be an obstruction to getting your band out there?
I mean, I don't think so. I think that a few years ago, I mean, when the band was collaborating a lot with Simon Ward from the Strumbellas, we were trying to chase that commercial radio dream for sure. You can even kind of hear it in our music. Trying to go for a more poppy sound, more mainstream. We were hoping that something would get picked up. The dream was always to get a song on The Edge or something. But then after a while, it didn't happen. We have leveled up and gotten more success, a little bit of CBC radio play. It just got to a point where we thought, like, why are we making music for radio? Why are we making music in the hopes that The Edge might pick it up and it'll be their song of the summer? Like, that's that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And it was stressful, going into the studio and thinking, oh, is this what's going to make us hit? Is this, oh, maybe the song's too long. We should cut that because radio won't pick up a song that's over 3 minutes or something. And it was just all of this added stress. So I feel like in the last 2 years, as we've kind of matured more and come to terms with where we are as a band and what we want to get out of our band and our music, we've kind of stepped away from that commercial success. Obviously, we still want to get our music out in front of as many people. If CBC Radio wants to pick up some of our songs, I'd be thrilled. But I think the commercial success, if it comes, amazing. But we want to make music that we love and that we're going to be happy and proud of. So, if it doesn't land on The Edge or Indie 88, that's all right.
Commercial radio may not pick you up, but community radio loves you.
Yes.
Yeah, love you, community radio.
Yeah, 100%.
I think also though, like the way that the music industry has evolved, for independent bands, there is a way of making money or making the band sustainable, or growing your band financially. That's like excludes commercial radio, or you don't need to have the commercial radio component to it anymore. We have our Patreon community, which we love, and people are very generous, and they support us there, which is amazing. And that's a way that we can sort of take the music and people connect with us like authentically, as the band, as we are, and we don't have to worry about like what The Edge or what Chorus Entertainment or like Rogers Media wants to put on their airwaves. We can take it directly to the people, and I think there has been sort of like a democratizing element. I mean, obviously, Spotify, Amazon Music still owned by large, multinational corporations, which is like, and they don't pay artists enough, but like you can find a way with your as an independent band to like leverage those streaming platforms and then create like a community of people who will support you financially outside of those traditional sort of music industry gatekeepers. And I mean, we've found that I think people crave authenticity. Like they want to hear what you're about. They want to hear your values in your songs and your story and the stories that you have to tell in your music. And so I think we've kind of like swerved a little more towards that side of things, and I think we've found success with that, which has been nice.
I think it's the case that if a band does have those values, it's going to get throttled by the distributors, the commercial outlets, because I don't think they believe that that's a marketable thing.
Yeah.
And even if the band has that, it's not going to get out to the listeners.
Yeah, and people see that. Like people who are listening to it, they can tell if there's a band who is singing what they believe in, or telling stories that are worth that they are really feeling emotionally, or are they just putting stuff out there that's like going to be song of the summer, or going to be flash in the pan, or get a million streams just for the sake of it. So I mean, we try to do songs that are a little bit more connected to ourselves.
You want to play me something non-commercial?
Yes, let's do that. This song is certainly non-commercial, and it is, settle down over there, please. It is called Wildfire.
We could be a wildfire. Well, I could keep you up for days. No coffee or tea, baby. Just your eyes on me.
We could be a wildfire. I could keep you up all night. We could pop the champagne a little premature, but I'll get there soon, babe. Oh, 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 oh,
set my heart ablaze, standing by the window, staring out at the big blue skyline. We could be a wildfire. I could keep you up all night. We could pop the champagne they won't change me. I think that we're meant to burn out. And oh, I'm going crazy. These things, they won't change me. I think that we're meant to burn. Burn out.
I'm not burning
And I won't light another fire.
Aye, the Mountain in the CKMS FM studio doing Wildfire. I hadn't heard that before. It's not in our catalog. It's not in our library.
Okay, we will get that right over to you.
It's so non-commercial. It's not even on community radio.
Yeah, so we released that song last fall. It was sort of the first of a new batch of songs, I would say. It was probably our first release after about a year, I think,
Yeah, a year or so. We
Yeah.
had released a cover.
of Ring of Fire,
Ring of Fire,
the
and
last
then,
fall.
That's wonderful,
Yeah,
by the way.
thank you. So this was kind of a new batch of songs. We recorded them in Toronto at Lincoln County Social Club with John Dinsmore.
Love you, John.
And he co-produced it with us, played bass on the track. And that was a really fun release. We were kind of getting people amped up again for new music. First song we released as a 4-piece, I guess. And we did a beer collab with Counterpoint. I'm actually wearing a Counterpoint shirt right now. Graham from Counterpoint has been such a wonderful person to collab with over the years. So we released like a smoked porter wildfire beer. We did a show there. And we also did an art collab with Hush Puppy Designs, a local Kitchener artist. That was the first batch of songs that she's actually making album artwork for us. So we were awarded a Region of Waterloo Arts Fund grant to do a whole album collection with her of wonderful artwork. So that was a really fun release. It was sort of a new chapter of the band and just a fun way to collaborate with some awesome Kitchener folks and get new music out there.
You mentioned the grant. Is that a mainstay for income for an independent band?
Yeah.
It certainly is. We should be better at it than we are, certainly.
Yeah.
But that is something that we hope to improve upon, I think. There's so much money out there to assist independent bands that really, why not go for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is music all you do? You have those dreaded day jobs.
We have those lovely day jobs.
Yeah, I think so.
We are all teachers, K to 6. Some of us are doing the supply gigs, and then some of us, Allison just got a kindy job,
Yeah.
full year in kindergarten, and then Rory and I are really gunning for that dedicated supply life. But yeah, so it's we often say we get to work 2 dream jobs.
Truly. Yeah.
Does that give you enough time? Is it enough of a day job that you can do the gigs at night?
Yeah, I mean, there's some sleepy days for sure, but I think since we tend to prioritize jobs that will give us that flexibility, we're able to do it. I would be lying if I said it wasn't a grind. It's definitely a grind, but it's one that we're so passionate about that it often, right, it doesn't really feel like work a lot of the
It
time.
seems to mesh with your philosophy for music.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. And I mean, it works out really well with having our summers free. We can do touring, we can do festivals. And then, throughout the school year, we just kind of stick to more like weekend shows, or if we have to, we've driven to Peterborough on a Thursday night before and gone back to work the next day. But, it's just a balance. But we love teaching so much. It's a lot of fun and a really rewarding job. And we love music, and it's a really rewarding job. So it works out well. We make both work.
Yeah, I mentioned this in a different interview, I think, but I was looking through some old things of mine, and I found, I think it was maybe grade 3 or grade 4, a sheet that I had filled out, and it said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And it said, "A teacher," and then ... "My dream is to be in a band." So truly manifesting from a young age that I was going to make it happen.
Got it all.
Yeah, truly.
So the school year is about to start again. This is the last week before school begins.
Yeah.
What have you got planned coming up then?
So I have the luxury, I am going to take off September, I believe, which is such a beautiful thing. So I've got some personal things going on, some weddings, trip to Alberta planned, but yeah, band-wise, we've still got a ton of shows happening. Our next one is
The Creekside Music Festival.
Yes, and then we're also playing Festival.
Yeah, so we have
Belmont
two
Village.
festivals sort of back to back. September 9th, we're up in Apsley, which is sort of north of Peterborough, for the Creekside Music Festival. It's a really fun lineup, so we're really excited to be included in that one. And then the following weekend, the 16th, we're playing Belmont Village Festival, which is like around the corner from our house. We could truly walk there.
We may walk there.
We might. We'll see how much gear we have. But yeah, it's really fun to be included in a local festival. And then a few weeks off, some like private gigs. We're playing a wedding, playing a house show. And then I don't know if can we announce it on air, our end of October show? Should we do it? Or should we keep it a
Well,
secret?
you can't keep it from me now.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So October 28th, the last Saturday of October, we're playing the Registry Theatre for the very first time. This is a big level up for us. However, the last Kitchener show we played, we sold it out. The one before that, we sold out. So we are hoping the Registry, bit of a bigger venue, we're going to sell it out too. We're partnering with Paige Warner, who used to live here, now lives in Owen Sound. She's going to play a nice opening set for us with her band. And then we're going to play the Registry Theatre. So tickets aren't out quite yet, but we're going to be announcing it on our social media pretty soon to get people to save the date. And it's going to be a really, really special show. We're hoping to get some other musicians to join us for a few songs.
Let's not give it all away.
I know,
please.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited. I'm
Show up,
excited.
Kitchener. There will be many, many great times had.
Yeah.
I
I'm
should also
excited.
say that for our last show at Counterpoint Brewing, not only did we sell out, we sold out in less than 24 hours. So if people who are here are listening, make sure you hop on our Instagram page and follow along with the updates, because those
Yeah.
tickets will not be lasting long.
Sorry, I'm getting too excited.
Having a
It's
look at
okay.
your Instagram page here now, it's Eye the Mountain, all squished together. And you've got some nice cover art there, some shots of, is that the Jillian video that I see there?
Yeah,
It
there's
is,
Jillian
yeah.
artwork and Jillian video, and then
Those are our
Me
East
getting a
Coast
haircut
tour.
from Allison, which you still need to fix a little piece, please.
And then you've got your official website.
Yeah.
Yes.
eyethemountain.com.
Yeah. So we'll keep it all updated with show dates as well. We haven't done an update in a bit since we've got back from our East Coast tour, but we'll have fall dates there pretty soon.
Yeah, and we're also, outside of the registry show, we're hopping back in the studio to do some more recording. We have a number of other shows coming up in October, and I think even into November, I think, as well.
Yeah, there's a few, yeah.
Yeah, so we're keeping busy. You know, it's back to school time, and we're going to take like the next week to sort of prepare for that, and then after that, we just, starter's pistol, and then we do shows, teaching, recording, all that good stuff, so.
Right, and that goes all winter long, all into the spring, and
Usually, yes. So winter, we do tend to slow down show-wise a little bit. And usually that's kind of our studio or writing season. Writing season is every season, I guess. It's constant. But
It's workshop season.
It's workshop season,
Yeah.
to get things in shape. And we're hoping to do some more recording in Toronto with our buddy John Dinsmore, but we're also looking at Canadian Daydream, a local studio that we're really excited to work with and collab with. They seem very invested in the band, and we're definitely invested in them. And they're great guys, so we can't wait.
You must have your own studio at some place.
We
No.
No.
We have basements and spare bedrooms.
Yeah, and a couple mics and Logic.
Yeah, so we do like some home demoing. We released one recording that was recorded fully at home, our Ring of Fire cover actually.
okay.
We recorded that during like the pretty intense lockdowns when we couldn't be together at all. We thought that'd just be a fun thing to try, a home recording, and we got it mixed professionally and mastered professionally, and it turned out great. But yeah, we mostly just stick to like the demoing at home, and then we head to a studio for like the professional recordings that we want to get out there. I mean, we probably would be capable of getting decent quality things out there, but you know, we are still hoping for like commercial radio play from time to time, at least on CBC radio. So, you know, we want to kind of do the level up, the professional studio.
Right.
Yeah, and it's nice to just further interact with our community that way,
Yeah.
right? Like we've got many people that we've recorded with or collabed with, and it's just great to get more ears on a song before it
Okay.
reaches the ears of the public. Yeah, so we're going into the studio with Simon Ward, formerly of the Strumbellas, and he's doing some production for us and some
Right.
co-writing.
Yeah, I've just been learning about production work in a recording studio, and I didn't realize how big a hand a producer has in putting out the music.
Yeah, we also
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I mean,
took
as
a while.
being an independent band, like I think back to like when we started recording at Sound Distillery with Will and Dave. We didn't realize that they were producers, and they didn't ask for production credits, but like they were very much producing the songs, and we sort of assumed that was just kind of like the way that studios worked, is like the person in the studio just, you know,
Helps
workshops the songs with you as you go. And we found out that was sort of special to them. They did that in their way, and then the other studios that we've gone to, it's like we have to either ask and say, okay, will you produce this for us, or are you just going to be the engineer, or like what role would you like to have in this production? Are you willing to share some feedback, and or do you just want to like hit record and make sure the levels are appropriate? So like that's been definitely a learning journey for us, and we're very lucky to be working with all the people that we are working with now, and all the people that we have worked with too. Like everyone has kind of shaped that recording journey, because it's like when you're starting out, you really don't know, right? I mean, we always just did it in our home bedrooms. Like you had, I think, a little like Samson meteorite that you used to record off of.
Oh yeah, and it was terrible.
And then you had your buddy, your friend in Oshawa, or Whitby, Sean.
Oh yeah, Sean Oaches. I mean,
that was like
Yeah.
that was like, but that's like
That
a
was
friend
interesting.
who has a recording studio, so it's like you're going in there
Yeah.
and you're just sort of workshopping with someone you're very close to.
Yeah.
It's very different than going into like paying someone to go into their professional studio and having that kind of client owner relationship, and then sort of figuring out where things are, and people, you know, I'm sure there's some bands who just want to go and bring their own producer, and then the person in the studio is just hitting the record button and doing levels. There's other bands like us where we can't really afford to hire like a big producer, so we're doing a lot of the production stuff ourselves, but we still want to hear feedback on the tracks. So it's like the person who's, John, who is who we record with pretty regularly, is very good about operating that dual space of like allowing us to have the creative freedom to sort of push the song ahead, but then also giving his feedback, giving his his experience in terms of what would sound good on a track that we're, or helping us shape it.
So having the smaller studios is actually very beneficial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, we're an independent band. We don't have the money to bring in like Grammy award-winning producers like some other bands. So.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I wish.
Although, working with Simon though, did he win a Grammy? He's won
not
a
a
Juno.
Grammy.
Definitely
Junos,
a Juno winner,
though.
and I'm sure there's a nomination kicking around there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. So I guess we are working with an award-winning producer.
Yeah.
You want to play me an award-winning song? You've got a time left for one more song, I think.
Beautiful. We're going to do an Eye of the Mountain classic. This is kind of the song that got us back together to a degree. And this is the first one that we co-wrote with Simon Ward. It is called The Boat.
You start.
watching the time slip away. And the seas are getting rough, it is getting harder to see your face. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. We'll tell your mother the tide is coming in. I'm walking sleepless, pushing through the storm ahead. And the seas are getting rough, it is getting harder to see your face. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. We were younger then, we were stronger then. Yeah, 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 yeah. We were sinking then, we were different then. We were younger then, we were stronger then. Yeah, 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 yeah. We were sinking then, we were different then. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there. Halfway, we're halfway there.
You've been listening to CKMS Community Connections on CKMS FM Radio Waterloo. We've had in the studio I the Mountain, who've done a live on-air in-studio performance. Thank you so much for coming into the studio and doing this for us.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks to everyone listening out there.
CKMS Community Connections is produced by Radio Waterloo, sponsored by Radio Waterloo. Executive producer is Jennifer Strong. Associate producer is Jeff Stager. My name is Bob Jonkman. CKMS Community Connections airs every Monday at 11 o'clock and alternate Fridays at 3 p.m. We'll be back next week.